Angad, before I go back to General Hasnan, I wanted to ask you, your view on the things being said about what this drone strike in Lahore says about the Chinese-supplied air defense system. I think it's called the HQ-9, if I'm not mistaken. Is there, does this pronounce something about that system, or is it too early to say?
I think it is too early to say, Shiv. Generally, long-range air defense systems like the HQ-9 will have radars that are optimized for those ranges and those sorts of engagements against enemy high-value targets, against enemy fighters and so on. And so they need layered air defenses to support the actual main radar and missile sites against things like drones and short-range munitions. And either these sites were not equipped with those layered defenses, or these drones were able to penetrate those short-range defenses and carry out their mission of suppressing the air defense sites.
General Hasnan, the other, the part two of what the Indian government statement today was, was about Pakistan's use of missile drones to try and hit military establishments in a whole range of Indian cities, from Srinagar, Avantipura, Jalandhar, Chandigarh, Adhampur, Amritsar, Uttarlai, and so many others. And not a single one of them apparently hit. The Indian government has said India's integrated air defense, intercepted every one of them, which is, an incredible feat. What did you think about that? We've seen pictures of some of those intercepted pieces of incoming projectile in places like Amritsar and elsewhere. This was pretty big, wasn't it?
System has proved to be that efficient. The air defense component of the Indian Armed Forces hasn't really been activated for a fairly long time. In fact, almost has demonstrated its efficiency to a very great extent. I'm not sure how airfields and a slew of missiles and drones are being used. Obviously, on which we have spent how much? 39,000 crores, what I remember, for 5 regiments. It's absolutely an investment which is paying itself back in a single. I would warn about either this escalation comes to an end here. Although both the NSAs are reputed to have, or rather as such.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. There were 15 targets listed in that statement. All military establishments, air. Can you break down what this system looks like and how it would have worked?
Awareness that fuses sensor information from basically nodes all over the country, and sectors as well. So as of April, I suppose all these nodes, all the awareness now translate to action, where they've been able to successfully intercept.
Would we be able to guess what kinds of systems would have been activated in there's in conjecture and people naming all these systems? Can you give us a realistic sense?
But what's activated is everything at this moment. Nothing.
If things escalate from here on, we probably will know tonight, unless Pakistan has.
I do think, Shiv, that Pakistan does not have the military level of escalation. So there's been a lot of bravado which they have, which they will take a decision to pull back. If it is not so, I think tomorrow is a...
I'm going to be staying the night here tonight, very close to the line of control in Kupwara.
और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
If it matters to you, it matters to India, it matters to me, and it matters to me.
More debates that shake the system. More exclusive.
Straight into the houses and shops that flank this tiny little right next to the impact point suffered the most. Take a look at that. Glass panes have been destroyed. They lie here in pieces. Products damage, a huge amount of glass pieces. ये आपकी दुकान है जी, और आप नहीं थे जब ये हुआ था?
लगभग 4 बजे के करीब।
थैंक गॉड कि आप नहीं थे यहाँ पर।
सर जी, हम शुक्र पढ़ते हैं कि हम यहाँ पर खुद नहीं थे, तो वरना यहाँ पर भीड़ होती है, तो यहाँ पर ब्लॉक जो है नजदीक ही पड़ता है, तो अप्रोक्सीमेटली 30-40 बंदों की जहाँ।
Look at the all the damage in this particular shop, and if you just walk a little, shattered everywhere, windows shattered everywhere. Some of the people in the houses have actually left and gone. Because they just don't know when that next shell is going to land. The irony of this entire in Chowkibal, I'm going to ask Ashwini to, once again focus on this, where the Indian drones have been fired at. India has used very sophisticated drones and other places which Pakistan is not acknowledging, but the reality on the ground once again. Human settlements, non-military, innocent human civilian settlements targeting civilian installations. There is a military confrontation going on between India and Shiv Arur, NDTV. Indian Air Force Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhadoria on a day when India has control near Kupwara sector. My first question to you, sir, on the...
I think Pakistan has made a big mistake by done in terms of sending drones and missile attacks on 15 and some of the targets which videos and photographs are available and displayed, not only loitering munition but on some targets S-400. As you are aware, our defense services, some of the information in terms of targets achieved, they would do their damage assessment and only then release. Our response has been firm, a very, very clear response. Because very clearly, if we had to do a full response towards a conventional conflict build-up, we would have taken out many such targets close to area defense. We have not done that. We have done it in some chosen places to just give a measured response to their act. So
warfare for the first time, India using drones in this way to strike.
Yes, absolutely. First paradigm is shifted because the kind of flexibility it gives you in targeting and in terms of own risks which get reduced drastically. So overall,
Talk to us, Air Chief, about. Usually we hear about gaps and things like that, but from what the Indian government has announced today, it seems like India's air defense shield has worked immaculately. Apparently, cities, were all intercepted, sir. How did that work? Amazing.
uh, uh, capable integrated air defense system, very capable, and I think most of the people know, but I would just like. It took some time building, but we have built it, and it is pan India. Our entire. You saw the result. Whatever their incursions were, everything was known. Everything was. Based on which we would utilize as SAMs, we have Akash systems. Overall, we have a complete array of.
So, no, I hope it is a trailer, but I also hope it is not a trailer, because we don't want any further escalations, and we here near the line of control in Kupwara sector. And I'm handing you over now to Maria, my friend and colleague. Maria, good to see that after a couple of days of politics, it looks.
For all the ground reports that you're bringing for our viewers, very powerful voices that you have managed over the last 2 weeks. Hello, viewers. I'm Maria Shakil. Pakistan attempted to retaliate, targeting 15 military targets in India, to no avail. Our ever-alert forces not only Iran, a good friend of Pakistan, India once again called out Pakistan for state-sponsored cross-border terrorism.
Attacks on us, there should be no doubt that it will be met.
जिस तरह से हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस ने टेरर कैंप्स को नेस्त नाबूद किया है, वो हम सब के लिए एक गौरव का विषय है.
Factor unmanned aerial system and other air defense systems. The debris of these attacks is now being recovered from a number of locations that prove
very clearly that all attacks on the morning of 7th May terrorist targets. It's also odd that being draped in Pakistani flags and state honor.
On another front, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh briefed reactions that came in after the all-party meeting.
Consensus. Leaders from the Treasury benches and the opposition walked into the
ongoing operation है, इसलिए पूरे एक घटना को
massacre. Right? To target only Pakistani terrorist installations. I think what took them by surprise.
I agree with everything that you've said, and it was made clear by the Foreign Secretary that our action excluded any military targets, number one, and number that had been given in 2016 as well after the surgical strikes, and also in 2019 after Balakot. However, Operation Sindoor 2, Phase 2, as your blurb also indicates. So this is the second stage where we are now seeing blaming Pakistan for drone strikes. There are reports about Lahore airport and various other airports having been closed down in the
We said right at the beginning that our action is measured, it is proportionate, it is non-escalatory, it is non-provocative. Went after military targets to test, I suppose, our air defenses, stretching from above. Who has to walk the path of de-escalation?
Jammu and Kashmir, we have seen in Kupara, there were sirens, air sirens, but fortunately there has as the air defense system is completely activated, the way it has been foiled, might find out more what has exactly happened in Jammu.
Okay, what can we tell our viewers at this point, Nazir? Jammu has gone total blackout.
Information I'm getting, but people should remain calm, be in their homes or wherever they are, take some shelter. That is the basic thing, because educate people what to do when there are air sirens are sounded. So that remain cautious, be somewhere at a safe place wherever you are, and I can tell you that the way our air defense system was alert, activates were failed and they were foiled, these two would be foiled. But people have to be calm but cautious, of course, remain safe, remain alert. There have been attempts, imagine the people in border areas, hundreds of people living in Tangdar and other areas of Karna, they have been shifted. The administration is actually reaching out to people, I can tell you, whether this is district administration in Kupara or this is district administration in Poonch and Rajouri. Their homes in border areas for safety since yesterday morning after Pakistan violated ceasefire, resorted to artillery shelling. Within 12 or 15 hours to target Jammu and Kashmir, and this complete blackout in Jammu, and I believe what we are hearing, that the objects which were being fired, other missiles or drones which were being, but for people, they have to remain calm and cautious.
Ghazali as well, because reports now coming in of a heavy artillery firing reported now in Samba sector, both artillery and drone attack which is happening. Will be joining us live any moment now, but this is an attack which has happened by Pakistan, unprovoked again, attempt by Pakistan missiles intercepted in Jammu, and Pakistan has fired missiles over Jammu. Another Pak attack which has been thwarted now.
Well, I can tell you, as I said, Doc, this in the Samba sector in Jammu and Kashmir, one is line of control, which is like 700 kilometers long. Then we have from Akhnur onwards up to Kutwa, we have international border, and Pakistan calls that it as working boundary. So in that international border, there has been heavy shelling. And why there's difference between international border and the line of control? Line of control is manned by the BSF, and on the other side, it is Rangers. So in that case, it was BSF. We don't know whether it is, but heavy shelling is going on in this international border. Also in Samba, we're getting very tense situation along the line of control and international border in Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, news also coming in of ceasefire violation by Pakistan in Samba. reported in fact, missile intercepted in Jammu, what we can tell our viewers. Drones and missiles, heavy artillery. Joining us, reports coming in of an incident which has happened also in Pathankot now. For all the viewers, be calm at this moment. That is what is needed at this juncture. So viewers, stay, Pakistan is continuing. Northern and western India, including Avantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Kapurthala. We have Shivarur joining us on the phone line.
Perception of Pakistani loitering munitions or attack drones, possibly even short-range missiles. We're not clear yet, but these seem to be loitering. The Indian Integrated Air Defense System interception projectiles in the air. This is a huge escalation by Pakistan. Remember, this basically constitutes, Maria, the second attempt by Pakistan since whether they have attempted to attack other cities, but from these pictures that we're getting from these are basically Pakistani incoming projectiles attempt. These are Indian interceptors finishing them off in the air. It's an incredible display. Has taken out incoming rockets. Of course, this is a much more sophisticated. Confrontation between the two sides already, where Pakistan tried to target thwarted by Indian integrated air defense. But what we're seeing now is the first we're seeing as part of this cycle of conflict between India and Pakistan. Here to suggest that multiple incoming projectiles of different kinds, possibly slow-moving drones and maybe some fast-moving missiles, which would basically mean that to hit the incoming Pakistani projectiles. We'll have more clarity once there is, a damage assessment. It doesn't look like any of these incoming projectiles. But we are still waiting because this is a live, evolving situation in different sectors. One in Jammu we can confirm, the other in Pathankot we can also confirm. Escalation on the line of control in the Jammu sector at this point of time. I'm returning. Can't confirm that, but this is an incredible display of very much in India's court once again, Maria. I think any speculation. The pictures that you're seeing on your screen settles that debate in a very troubling manner. Now, in Jammu, there are a lot of military establishments. The Northern Command is not the government in Jammu. Pathankot has a large airbase. It's the site where Pakistan.
TV's Ghazali, who's in Kupwara at this stage. Just for the benefit of our viewers, Jammu, Arispura, Samba, Arnia, Akhnur presently being targeted. There's shelling which has been reported. What are you seeing?
See, right now what we are picking up is that airstrip in Jammu has been attacked by rockets on Jammu, but other neighboring districts, areas as well. Mobile network is down. 8 missiles. Also, loud explosions are being heard from nearby areas in Jammu city as well. It is also being, and missiles and drones have been launched from Pakistan to exact location of the impact of the attack is not yet known, but heavy shelling is being reported from most of the areas, border areas near Jammu, Samba, Arispura and others.
Over the last 15 odd minutes, there is a major developing situation in parts of including going as far down as Pathankot. These are sustained drone and missile attacks by missiles by Indian surface-to-air missile units and Indian anti-air units as well. Very, very clear footage of what the situation is presently. Nazir Masoodi, you're on air.
Yeah, Vishnu, I'm in Kupara by our air defense system, and it was as there were sirens at line of control and international border. And if we talk about international border in Samba, Putwa Samba, there has been heavy shelling. Since yesterday, I have seen that there would be, they were fearing such, escalation as Pakistan also and Avantipura also, all of them were foiled or neutralized by. There was a drone attack on airbase, Jammu airbase, just Air Force base, were made on an attempt to target 15 cities as most of these things, attack attempts were filed this evening. But fingers crossed, because this is night time and not much information is coming.
All right, where this friend of mine has an orchard. Yeah, there are fireballs in the sky and non-stop explosions which can be heard at this stage. There are, there would be dozens of drones in the air, possibly missiles as well. There's possibly of Pakistani drones throughout the day, when at least 15 targets stretching all may carry out interceptions. There was anti-aircraft gunfire which was used as well.
Like some kind of a saturation attack where Pakistan has used slow-moving, loitering projectiles had been successfully intercepted with not a single one of them hitting their intended target. This time maybe they tried, a fresh strategy and used more projectiles. The pictures that you and I are looking at, Vishnu, it doesn't look like they've been whose munitions coming in from Pakistan has been intercepted in the air. We don't over Pathankot, Samba, Riyasi and other places, but as you well know, escalation by Pakistan, because this is basically the second time that that country in the north, the northwest. That information is still coming in because it's an evolving situation. And before, we're probably used to seeing this kind of thing in Israel, Vishnu, but still.
I'm looking at that myself. Our colleague Nazir Masoodi has just been sent and that appears to show, either incoming drones and what appears it is extraordinary what is taking place right now, but at this that there are reports of successful interceptions having been carried out by the artillery also, which is firing at this stage. You can certainly bet that the Indian Air on our side of the international border, covering the international border and the line of control. That we need to keep our minds on. But Pakistan reacting late tonight after incredible a white dot every now and again, and that white dot or white to red. It's unclear at this stage whether these are interceptors going up, but I would suggest that these are... All right, we don't have Ghazali at this moment. Nazir, go ahead, tell us, what is it that you have?
Targeted, but air defense system is completely activated. Missiles or drones, and it is, as I said earlier, it is a chaotic situation in Jammu and also along the line of control and trying to do that and targeting Jammu and Kashmir once again. We have seen again, it is complete blackout, as you can see these object authorities so far, because suddenly there were, sirens sounded, followed by blackout, and then these attacks started, and there's Samba sector and also in Poonch and other areas of line of control. In any report of any attack so far, at least to my homes and wherever they are, shopkeepers shutting their shops. Yesterday it was told.
I'm being told it's near Rajouri as well, Samba, Rajouri, Riasi. In Rajouri as well, all the hotels and other houses have been asked to switch off the... Just a few minutes ago, there was a small gathering here, but now people are just leaving the nearby areas in Rajouri as well.
All right, did you...
No, not yet, Vishnu. No explosion have been heard here.
Okay.
Right in the...
elsewhere, and we've got this footage up on the screen. So I'm just trying to compile where these attacks have come in. Many of these have important military installations. Sindoor itself, they would perhaps be trying to sort of get in over here and make strikes on Indian military. It's one of the most comprehensive air defense grids in the world, and therefore they are fully are so-called leakers, drones or missiles which actually do penetrate our defenses. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. What we do know, and this is limited information at this stage, ground-based radars, air-based radars. We've got radars with the army as well, radars to detect incoming threats. These threats would then be prioritized. Assets which can actually target them. We don't necessarily have to intercept these using surface-to-air missiles. These can also be jammed. There is a system of denying drones used to take down drones. It's also anti-aircraft fire. These are often radar-guided as well to ensure that there is it is accurate. Let me just...
Yeah, firstly, this is a sure shot which is taking place from Pakistan's side, and we will respond once again. But so far, no damage has been noticed, but it can definitely be harassing I'm not too sure military installations. We'll have to wait for the results, but we have to be prepared now for escalation for the next few days.
Presumably there would be Indian attacks which might go through as well. These are all air attacks so far. Escalation would mean ground assaults, and that would be the
Indian assets all along the line of control and international border between Jammu and Kathua in that area, and they have already particularly. So as it is, something on the ground has already taken place. The line of control physically, because they have also to retaliate the shelling that is coming from that side. I'm sure international border and also be prepared for retaliatory.
Indian air defense system is catered to detecting incoming threats. How does it work, sir?
Good evening. This last barrage which has come in the J&K sector, it's been working very well. Now this integrated air defense system, as you know, anti-air missile system, I mean, it's not very clear so far whether the escalation doesn't bode well for Pakistan, because perhaps the reflection of the rogue state that they are. As we speak, I'm quite sure that the other elements of our armed operations, which we will not know for some time to come.
More video which is coming out. Some of it actually does appear to show earlier on. Some of that footage has been sourced to areas near Amritsar, across the frontier.
Jammu, in Samba, in Pathankot, we're hearing about the border being active. National border suggests that this is perhaps the most serious escalation. Multiple units of the Pakistan military attempting to strike, be slow-moving loitering munitions, they could be fast-moving attack and other sectors. It is very clear that two things are happening right now. One, integrated air defense shield, which has been exercised more in the last 24 reporting from the Jammu sector. There has been a serious escalation on the line of attempt another airstrike type attack on India. We're hearing suffice it to say that the S-400 system, the Spider system, the Akash system, blazing right now, in a symphony of interceptions over Jammu. Vishnu, to identify precisely what the nature of those incoming weapons really are.
It's taking place. It's clear that they haven't accepted that. In the context of that and what from an overall standpoint.
Vishnu, look, there should be no doubt them and has hit them psychologically. Forget the physical damage, etc. what the Indian Armed Forces have been able to do. Stop every single one of these projectiles. I want to say something else to you.
Yeah.
Look, the world in general, and we are talking about the major powers, that look, we were able to take some kind of revenge. I believe the world needs to work with defense batteries, etc., which was absolutely well done with a degree of precision. That this is not going to escape them all. These visuals will reach them. Would be made to tell them that look, it is in their interest that they need Arab Emirates, and I'm sure even the Chinese may tell them, look, you've done what you had to.
All right, I'm going to go across to Ajay Sani in just a moment, but for now, I'd like to remind our viewers about half an hour ago, a little more than half an hour ago, there have been massive, we are not airing presently because we've been unable to verify it. But our Jory and Riyasi, there have been some reports suggesting targets. Shiv, go ahead.
Vishnu, we're hearing from sources that Pakistan Air Force the airbase now very, very flimsy information coming in, but F-16 has taken place. It was on a combat air patrol. It was our thing. It hasn't happened since 2019. And we are reporting right now that they're potentially, a target for a similar kind of saturation attack. But they have just lost an F-16 fighter. It is its most capable fighter, obviously, between the two countries. There are missiles, there are drones, there are fighter aircraft, there are from the Indian side. I am presuming that if it crashed somewhere near Sargodha, it's
that our sources have heard about this, but it stands unverified at this stage. But there is a strong stage is that 8 missiles from Pakistan, which were directed at Satwari, Samba, RS.
Is a kind of an imperative that has been this cycle of, I think, proportionate retaliation on both sides.
Area. Shiv has been looking closely at that development. We are waiting. That there have been Pakistani missile attacks which have been intercepted and drone strikes which are at this stage.
Firstly, I must say that all the action, the Air Force plane on the other side, all that is doing well. And of their ground forces, either they will use long-range missiles or they will try. Now, I have also to say that we would also be, suppose we would be having our complete surveillance system, ground to monitor all the movement of the Pakistani formations.
Stage, when it comes to drone warfare, and we've seen this in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, so therefore, the longer this gets, India will be expending a lot of.
Absolutely. Vishnu, I don't think are, more sophisticated and them down. But I have my doubts if these are drones, so they don't cause the kind of damage that we think they do. Now, this conflict.
Yeah.
And why I say a conflict at this is tantamount to almost a warlike situation. Or than what we are seeing today. Because, as I mentioned earlier, we must be taking similar actions across the LC and the international border also.
Okay. Air Chief Marshal, hold that thought for a moment. Amritsar, Gurdaspur and Tarn are presently in a complete blackout. Of India as well, where blackouts have been initiated. This is standard protocol. Attacks of this nature take place. In terms of what India has by way of technology to the Akash, which is a made in India system, or the far more larger and more expensive S. Some of that is radar guided, so that offers a fairly accurate prevent these drones from carrying on their operations and getting to their targets. Offered Pakistan an off-ramp. Our press releases and our press statements, including to do that. In a situation like this, what does India do? Because if it's retaliation of warfare, then it's ground strikes, the movement of tanks, the movement of ships, and a lot more which can take place. Are we headed, in your mind, in that direction?
And what is happening? Look, we are in a world where people know what is happening. And it's not that our borders and this particular entire issue vis-a-vis Pakistan is not known to the world. The most important leaders have commented, and some are cognizant of what is happening. They also realize that we are two countries, and I don't want to overemphasize this business, that we are nuclear powered, we are both sides, etc. I think they all know this, and it is my belief that, look, the Pakistanis if the word spreads that the munitions they are using really can't cause any that it is a serious sets of attacks which we are able to thwart, and I'm sure we have the telephones will start ringing, and frankly, the
all right, just hold on a minute. What's happening there?
Yeah, so we are showing all these pictures from district Firozpur. We have seen learned from the sources. There is some movement from across the border near this Firozpur border also. That could be possible reasons why multiple precautions are being taken on the ground.
Right now, our sources saying that there are sirens being heard right now in Chandigarh. There is a blackout in parts, or if not all of Chandigarh. Shops in some places are being sounded in Chandigarh, Mohali too, in a blackout. Shops being asked to close, and people are being told to go home at this.
I'm in Panchkula, which is further east of Mohali is on the western side of Chandigarh. I'm on the eastern side. Panchkula. And civil defense people have been quite active. So with the news that is coming from the border areas, I'm sure people are...
But what we are told is that there are sirens in Chandigarh. There is a blackout which has taken place in Chandigarh. Are being told nothing in Mohali at this present juncture. Shivarur, come in over here. Your thoughts?
we've just, absolute flurry of information coming in because information from all of these different sectors along the entire line of control and the international in Gujarat. That's just been confirmed to be my contact over there. It was an army aircraft of the Pakistan Air Force being shot down, but we'd like to hold our horses until we that must be underlined right now. A lot of different things are being said, but we are making it a point, to draw a few red lines as far as verification is concerned before we put it out, Vishnu, by an S-400 interceptor from India. This means that there is an air battle as well, presumably, apart from these missiles and drones that are being fired in different places. Expecting it to happen any moment here in Srinagar as well, Vishnu, because Srinagar, remember, India earlier today, but there's this really where Pakistan is attempting to target many places. They're being thwarted. Else, blackouts at air bases are only to be expected because these are military establishments. Including airfields. It remains to be seen how this night really plays out. Wondering what more lies in store for tonight. It looks like it's going to be very
be proportionate to what the Pakistanis have done. I say that because that is exactly what we did today when the Pakistanis attacked earlier on in the day today, attacks which were with essentially the same amount of force, targeting the same amount of areas and also looking to hit some military targets. Why? Because Pakistan was doing just that. So therefore, this being right size, this is being escalated, but escalated so far at the level of drones and tactical missiles. General Malik, any thoughts?
Some other missiles. Drones as so far in a masked manner have been used against drones and large missiles which have been used during they are capable of causing much damage to the buildings or to they are used against the tanks. That is what we have seen in the.
We're tuning in right now. Among other areas, among several areas where there's a blackout, also the huge Indian city of Chandigarh where there is a blackout, Mohali as So that's what we are told. That's what we know at this juncture. I mean, it's a developing story. I could ask you all sorts of questions, but let me in fact put that across to Ambassador Manjeev Puri. Again, what are you thinking right now? The war which happened between India and Pakistan was restricted to one small area. This is for the first time since the 1971 war that we are seeing this huge frontage where all of these attacks are incoming and where India is hitting back.
Look, Chandigarh is Chandi Mandir, headquarters of the Western Command. So, important. Odd kilometers from the border. Having said this, look, that these, but they are spreading it and they are, in a sense, playing, if you agree. Basically, by that one strike in power, and by the way we've been able to portray this across the board, there is this domestic compulsion to be. Any one particular sector, they shelled the areas in Pooch. We lost a Gurdwara and in a sense playing. But my own understanding is that they, without going into the thing about whether these drones are effective and if it is just a kind of, think this particular spread will attract the attention of those who matter, and those who have the ability to start ringing soon will also get them. There's no doubt about that. But this will have to be brought under control because, they're giving vent to their need to, as there is the danger of escalation, even though right now it may appear escalation, but may not be in reality. But the real danger of escalation is one that's on either side itself.
No, I agree. We need to stay calm at this juncture and really sort of explain what is taking place from that perspective. Let's bring information that you're picking up.
Kupwara sector, where we were reporting on the escalation and shelling that continues there as well, which basically proves that from North Kashmir all the way, to the